It's time for Around the Ozarks in 5, brought to you by Talking Rocks Cavern. Explore the beauty above and below ground at Talking Rocks Cavern. The Springfield Greene County Park Board reminding you to go play, and Roto-Rooter Plumbing and Drain Service. Call Southwest Missouri's best plumber today for a free estimate. Here are your hosts, Ethan and Sarah Foreheads.
And here we are, Tuesday morning, another frigid morning out there. It's brutally cold once again. This is something that I don't want to get used to, but sadly, I feel like I maybe am.
You have to for at least a little bit. It's going to get better before long.
Yeah,
Just
I think
keep
it's going to be.
on. I think
it's gonna
30s.
get a little,
30s.
Yeah, maybe a little bit warmer this week.
Which will feel
And
like a heat
then,
wave of sorts.
Really cold again over the weekend. We're just guessing, but you can check in with Wake Up Weather with Abby Dyer. She is a trained meteorologist and actually knows what she's talking about. So we rely on her. But I think there's going to be a little bit of a warm up and then back down again. So
all right. Sounds good. Well, for now, it is another day in the deep freezer. Wind chill advisory is in effect today until noon. And again today, city utilities and other utilities asking customers to voluntarily conserve natural gas and electricity. Apparently, the extreme temps are impacting the delivery of natural gas along the pipeline to CU. The utility is asking customers to turn their thermostats below the normal average of 68 degrees, if possible, I guess. Some local businesses heeded the warning and voluntarily closed their doors yesterday. Other businesses and many schools were already closed because of the Martin Luther King Jr. holiday, and some more schools are closed today just due to the frigid temperatures, but some are back in business. So check the list twice before you sleep in for too long this morning.
Yeah. Springfield Public Schools are closed today because of the extreme cold we're talking about, but there are 3 school board meetings on the docket that will go on as scheduled. In 2 of them, talking about those school closure possibilities that we've been telling you about, the board will consider the recommended closures of Robertson Elementary and Pershing Elementary schools. The Robertson closure meeting will happen at 4 o'clock, and then the Pershing closure meeting will be at 5:30. So some big business happening on a day when kids aren't actually in the classroom.
All right. 2 brothers will spend 10 years in prison for their roles in a shooting. It happened near Glendale High School in January of last year during a speech and debate tournament. The 21 and 22-year-olds pleaded guilty to the charges. The reason for the shooting was apparently related to a drug deal.
Missouri State University, that is expected to narrow down its list of potential next presidents tomorrow. MSU's Board of Governors will hold a special meeting to trim the list to just 4 finalists, the final 4. 48 people applied for the job. 11 were brought in for interviews. The final 4 candidates will each make a 2-day interview visit to campus next month. So we're getting really, really close.
Springfield has a new food truck. The Gypsy High-End Eatables and Desserts is now open in the parking lot of the Revival 98 dispensary on Republic Road, right by Scenic. Most of the items on the menu, they say, are sourced locally. That's exciting.
Hey, that's nice. Yeah, good deal. I love food trucks.
I don't necessarily. I don't dislike them. I just don't ever go to them,
Yeah.
So, but they're probably pretty tasty. I don't know. The Iowa caucuses had a clear winner last night to start the presidential decision making. Former President Donald Trump ran away with it in his first test, or really the first test of the 2024 campaign season in our neighboring state to the north. It was really a race for second place, you could call it, wondering who would come in right after him. So it was basically between Ron DeSantis and Nikki Haley, and it was close. Republicans turned out despite the bone-chilling cold. Are you ready for this? It was negative 45 wind chill in Iowa, but they still came out to play.
God bless them. They're the first in the country, the Hawkeye. And man, that was a resounding victory for Trump. If there were ever any doubt about where he stands,
I don't think there was.
I
don't think there was actually any doubt. I think everybody knew that it was a race for second place going into this. So,
well, we'll see what happens going forward.
I do enjoy listening to the post interviews after the Iowa caucus?
With the people who voted?
Yep.
Caucus goers?
Yep. Don't you?
Yeah. I mean, they're salt of the earth people. They're regular people living in the Midwest and working hard and
Right.
trying to find somebody who's going to work for them.
I know. And just, I don't know. I just like them. I just like them. And I learn a lot, like the pulse. You get the pulse. You learn the pulse of the country right there. So, all right.
I think their pulse and our pulse are pretty similar.
Yeah.
Honestly. Ours is Missourians. Even Arkansans. Kansas City Chiefs will go on the road for their next playoff game. We know that now. Kansas City will play Buffalo in the AFC divisional round, 5:30 on Sunday, and you could actually watch that game for free without a subscription to anything. You just have to have
it took me a minute when you said Arkansan. I was like, Arkansans? Kansas.
You're still on that?
Yeah, sorry. When you said Arkansans, I was kind of like, well, it's sort of the pulse of Arkansas too. But you said Arkansans. But in my mind, it was like supposed to be Arkansans or Kansans. But sorry. Okay, Kansas City Chiefs. Keep going.
I don't know. I don't know if we can.
No, we can. I just was thrown off.
Camera or something?
No, I was thrown off because I kept thinking, well, if it's the pulse of Iowa and Missouri, what about Arkansas? What about Kansas? But you said Arkansans, but you meant just Arkansas, but Kansas is well. I would also say Kansans probably.
I don't know.
And there's your segue. Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, how about that? There they go on the road playing against the Buffalo Bills.
Yes, as I was saying, the Bills moved past the Pittsburgh Steelers, Kansas City yesterday. Kansas City, their game was delayed because of all the snow. Kansas City advanced past the Dolphins, obviously, over the weekend. The Chiefs have won at least one playoff game for 6 consecutive seasons, which is pretty impressive.
Playoffs.
And you got to say this. Playoffs. Get ready for more big sporting events to be on streaming services only and not on your network local channel, Color 10 or KY3 or ABC. Why, you ask? Well, because Saturday's NFL playoff game between the Chiefs and the Dolphins garnered the largest streaming audience in history. So that's what they were looking for.
I'm disappointed in the people who paid to watch. Even though I get it, because you're a true fan, you totally ruined it.
It was a short-term win. They got to see the game, but at what cost? Now they're going to have to get all the streaming services. 23 million people tuned into NBC streaming service Peacock to watch the 4th coldest game in NFL history. The game also made Saturday this is crazy. Saturday, because of this game, was the most internet usage ever in the United States on a single day.
That is crazy to me because there's so many big events. I mean, outside of sports, even that you feel like the world is watching. Like things happen in this country.
But they watch on television. They watch on television.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, that's changing.
Because if it's that big of a deal, it's going to be on network television.
That's changing.
It's a new day. I feel like we woke up to a new day, everybody. It's a new day.
I wonder what we should put an over-under on when the Super Bowl will be on a streaming service.
We don't bet, actually. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
We discussed this yesterday. He's like, what's the over-under? Sorry, old habits
die hard. But I wonder,
hard.
is it 10 years? In 10 years, will the Super Bowl be on a streaming service?
Yeah.
Maybe.
What do you mean in 10 years? 10 years? That's way too long. In 4 years. In 4 years.
The Super Bowl is not going to be on a streaming service in 4
years. 2028, everybody, write it down. In 2028, it's going to be on a streaming service.
Care to make it interesting?
Yeah.
What do you want to bet?
Jimmy John's.
You're on Jimmy John's. By that time, in 4 years, Jimmy John's will cost like $30 a sandwich.
It already is almost there.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Well, the plan worked of the TV streaming executives. It worked because people did it. Kansas City Chiefs fans paid the money to get the service just for that game. And now it's going to mean they're going to have to do it for CBS. Listen to this. This is the crazy stat. More people watched the game Saturday on Peacock than watched last year's AFC wildcard game on NBC. Think about that.
Well, also there was record viewership whenever Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce first started dating. So I think one must assume that it's not only football fans watching anymore, but you got Swifties mixed in there, and she's a superstar.
Who? T Swift?
You and TJ?
Okay. Anyway, we're all going to have to get all the streaming services. We might as well just get cable again. Remember that? When we had everything?
It'll come back around.
Ugh.
It'll come back around.
They'll call it something new. They'll call it like an Instant Pot.
It'll.
That's a pressure cooker. My grandma had one. It isn't cool.
And
right?
What was the air fryer? Convection oven?
There's a convection oven. Now it's called an air fryer, and everybody has one.
Somebody give Ethan a bit.
Although
he needs a bit.
I'll say this, that I never used a convection oven before an air fryer, and now I do. So, it works every now and then. It works every now and then. All right, that's it for Tuesday. Stay warm, and I guess we'll see you back here tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
That's it. All right.
Yep.
Big gulps. Well, see you later.